This is Caitlin. She's sad about her poor little cheesecake.
Oh, where was that from?
Second cup.
Oh,
They failed. Say hello, Vivian.
Hello, Vivian.
There you go.
Hello.
Is Marissa coming?
Oh, I just took a photo.
Oh, did you?
Okay, we're good.
We're rolling.
Oh,
Alright, so this is our debrief. Well, I thought it was one hell of a semester. I don't know about you guys. But, roller coaster from the start. We kind of mentioned beforehand how we thought we had a plan, and then we had no plan, and then we thought we had a plan, part of the plan, no plan. It's a little stressed out. Maybe hold a little. But overall, I thought it turned out really well. So I'm very happy with it. Maybe if we were to redo it, hindsight 2020, or if we just decide to, all be in the same social work class, maybe we'll drop in or take Arena's 500 class. Then we know what to do for next time. I think maybe if we had started off, I know we're talking about going into schools and things, but I thought it was a little sketchy at the beginning. For instance, I went to the education building and I kept getting asked all these questions like, well, what grade do you want? What school do you want? Catholic? Do you want private? What are you going to teach? How long? I don't know to all of the above. Not all that professional, so super stressed out about that, but we didn't know from the beginning. But I think for me in particular, I didn't know what we were getting into from this class. So right from the beginning when we were talking about our projects and what we could do, I think that was a big thing for everybody, is no one knew what we wanted to do. We just knew we wanted it to be super kick-ass, awesome rock star. I had to. But I think if we were to go back and do it again, that might be something that we would change. It was just a little bit more solidarity on what we were looking to accomplish. But I think that was the best part of our journey, is because we figured it out from the get-go, what worked, what didn't work. And I think if we hadn't have had all those epic failures and doors closing, we wouldn't have got to where we were, and it probably wouldn't have turned out as good as it did. So I think for this class, the unknown and the fumbling probably worked out better than any kind of plan we could have come up with. So overall, I'm quite happy with the way things turned out. And we had the best group. Lots of laughter, lots of encouragement and support, and I think that's something else that really helped and brought us together in our group. And I don't think it would have turned out the way it had if we'd had any other group members switched up for any one of us. So yeah, I'm very happy with everything that turned out. So how about everybody else? How did you guys feel?
Awkward silence.
Nobody will get her. Nope. The redhead has spoken.
Marty? No.
What do you think? I'm famous.
Yeah, it's pretty hard working around the schedule of a famous man, but
At least we managed to get his stunt double.
yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
Thank you,
Yeah.
stunt double.
Yeah. It's all for the fans.
Yeah. I'm gonna post this.
Right under the close-up. Alright, next.
Yeah, I think the hardest thing for me was trying to understand exactly what she wanted. She'd say, do this, and it was we had to figure out on our own what exactly she wanted. So we spend a week, stressed out, trying to think, is this what she wants, is this what she wants? And then when we go back to class the next week, oh, this is all I wanted. And you're like, oh my god, I just stressed out for the last week, and just saying those bibliographies had to be done, and made it sound like it was such a big task that we weren't going to finish. And then we go back to next week, oh, just who, what, why, where, how to get there, and that's it. And I think a majority, myself personally is that I really stressed over this class. Even though it was like, even though it was to do it on our own, it was like, you gotta read all these books, you gotta do this, a million things, whereas we only had to do a few.
How did you feel? Because I felt the same way.
It really bothered me, like, it really stressed me out.
First when I expected myself so much more, and because I didn't know anything about it, I found I got so stressed out because I expected so much more out of me and I couldn't do it.
Yeah, exactly. And then we go the next week and you're like, well, I wonder if I should talk to her, and I gotta talk to her, and then she's like, oh, you just need this, da da da. And you're like, is that it? You know, I stressed out for the last week trying to watch all the 8 fires, trying to read all these books, trying to find out about I Don't Know More, and that's not what I was supposed to do. I just needed a little of what I did. So I think by going to class, I think I missed 2 or 3 classes. By missing those classes, I stressed out 2 weeks. So by constantly going to class and figuring out and just listening to what she had to say, she really made me feel better. And I honestly thought she was a Native woman. And when I first met with her, I said, which reserve are you from? She said, I'm not a First Nation. What? Where are you from? And then she told me where she was from. And I was like, holy smokes, I can't believe it. I thought you were Native. You're so passionate about, you know, Native studies, Native issues, and you're not Native. I was like, wow, you know. I even put in my learning log, you know, like she made me feel so good about taking this class and relaxed, like I wasn't so stressed about being intimidated about being in that class, that I put in my learning log that she was a real kind Gookum. And that's what I thought she was. I thought she was an Aboriginal instructor here. She really surprised me.
And what made you think that?
Just because she was so passionate about Native issues. And there's very few people that you come across that are so passionate about Native issues that you think that maybe she does have maybe she's linked to, you know, Native community or a Native person in her life, and she wasn't. And then when she told me that, I was like, wow, you know, like that changed my point of view of her, and I think that's what made me closer to her, like feel more comfortable with her, and I just connected with her from there, because you know, that was really nice to see for myself.
And that's interesting you say that, because the first couple weeks, like, I was so stressed out, and I thought, fuck me, what did I get myself into? Bleep. So stressed out. I walked in and I'm like, and I took this because for getting into education, I need, like, Canadian literature, and I'm like, oh, Aboriginal film and literature, this is perfect. And the learning styles, I'm like, yeah, done that, that's good. And then I walked in and I felt so outside the circle. I knew nothing about Native issues. I already knew racism had been so normalized for me. Like, I was really afraid. As you guys know, like, I can't even go on our Facebook page and write anything. And as you know, that speaking up is not a problem for me. So for that to be a problem, like, that's wow. So I found that really interesting, because the first few weeks, you and I sat together a few times, and, like, you totally eased my nerves, because you would talk to me and you'd be like, I don't see you for, like, this privileged white person that you are. You just talk to me like anybody else. And for Runa to do that to you... Well, no. Because I spent the first few weeks talking to you and Kendall, and both of you were so open, and you just, like, explained things, and you totally put me at ease, and I might have dropped it if I hadn't had, like, a few of you guys to be like, it doesn't matter. So that's really interesting. How are we going to do that for you? And you were one of the people who did that for me.
And it was like, every time we got to class, we'd see an open spot and we'd sit down and we all ended up together.
Every time. And then I'd be there and I'd be like saving her a seat.
So it was, I don't know, it's kind of, I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, so I was really, really glad to have you.
Oh, nice.
Alright, moving on to like the next note.
Let's
continue with our
before
happy
she The tears are coming. We know the tears are
Oh
coming.
my god, as soon as I start talking about Dr. Margot, like I'm going to start bawling, so we're just like not going to go there. That's in my learning log. We're good.
Well, one more thing about this class that really bothered me is that it was very racial, and I'm not used to racial issues. Like, I know that I see my husband we go through it together, but I thought that being in an educational setting, such as a university, the racial issues would be more on the educational level. I didn't think it would stoop as low as it did, you know, to be saying that blah 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 because of so-and-so and how you look. They automatically think that you know, you're a bum. You beg for change, and that's what I didn't like. And I told Aruna that I do not like this, you know, these racial issues. And I said I was really, really mad. I said because I assumed that because of our setting and where we were, it would be done a little more respectable. And then I said, but if we were outside of this building, across the street, I said it would have been the outcome would have been way different. I said I would have swore, I would have yelled, I would have raised hell, but I had to remember where I was. I had to be respectable because I had to be respectable because they're my fellow peers, they're my students. You know, I'm in a place where I have to look at it and use my mind and my words in the proper way.
Thanks for that input.
Did you write about like the university as an ideological critique? Because I know I did. Because I was the flip side of things. In the classroom, I felt really comfortable because I could be academic, and on Facebook, I felt like I was me, and I wouldn't be taken as an academic, and my words would get twisted and ill intention. That's why I couldn't do it. So I wrote about the university as an ideological concept.
And I even called her, and I even told her, I'm not coming to school. And she's like, why? I said, because I don't want to face her. I said, she really pissed me off. She really said things that she didn't need to say. So she's like, nope, don't let them do that to you. You get your butt to school. And it was like after 5, and my husband was like, what are you going to do? And I was like, well, Melinda said, get your butt to school. And he's like, just go, I'll drive you. He told me. If not, I would have missed that day, because I was like, I don't want to escalate it, because, you know, I'm so used to using my words when racial issues come up. I can use my words and I can fight with my words. And by me going to school, I was like, I don't want to. And when that lady came, what was her name? Jenny. When Jenny came, I could feel it. And I was like, I gotta get out of here, because if I don't, I'm gonna say something. So I told her, I said, I'm leaving. And she's like, no, just stay. I said, nope, I have to get out of here. And I walked out, because if I stayed in there, I know I would have said something, or I would have got mad, or I wouldn't have been able to, you know, I'd probably say something that I wouldn't want to say. So I told that to Aruna. I told her everything that happened about those comments, and I was supposed to meet with her, and she was going to give me some tips on how to deal with anger. We were supposed to go have coffee, and she was going to tell me, but we never had that meeting. We got too busy. And she told me that a lot of the students come from high school, they're fresh out of high school. Maybe they were, the prom queen, or maybe they were the privileged white kids, or and she said, don't take what they say seriously, because they haven't lived in a world. They haven't experienced life. So they're assuming by looking at somebody on a train, they're like this, and they assume that everybody is like that when they're not. So she told me, just ignore them. Everybody has the right to be vocal, and don't let it bother you. So after that, I just, I understand now that, yeah, there's a few, kids from high school that, feel that they know everything about the world coming into university, and I had to learn how to just ignore them, just do what I had to do, and because that's what I was doing when I first started university. I came in and I was trying to compete with them. I don't even know why. I wasn't there for myself. I was there trying to, they'd have like a book, I go and get that book. They'd have this kind of notebook, I go and get that kind of notebook, and then now that we're done this semester, it really made me look at life different.
In a better way, do you think?
In a better way, yeah. I think this class really made me see the world for how it really is. And regardless of what we do or where we are, it's always going to be racial. It doesn't matter, even though it's, it's always going to be a part of our life. But this class has helped me see that, how to deal with it in a proper way, better way, ignore it, it's either you stoop to their level or you rise above. So, I'm glad I took this class. Okay, your turn. No more nodding, what are you gonna talk?
I'll go because my nose is running and I keep
I
sneezing.
thought you were crying down
I
there.
was like, I'm not the first one.
Like, I'm not looking at that.
You'll just start crying too.
No,
For no reason.
just feel bad.
I see one person cry, even if it's on a film and I'm done, I'll start crying.
Now I'm sneezing.
Why are you sneezing?
I don't know. It's probably you.
Is it allergic?
I think I'm allergic to you.
Must be my detergent.
Allergic to the video.
You smell beautiful. Hi, Aruna. For me, I kind of knew what to expect from the last class, kind of, except I didn't know what adaptation meant at all. But I think we did a pretty good job of adapting Marty up there.
It's one version of adaptation.
Just shows you can't put it on Facebook. It might end up in someone's living room on a kimono. Hey, Marty. For me, the group process was great. Made friends. I think we'll be friends afterwards. We'll stay in touch. And they were really supportive of me. I had a really rough semester, with stuff going on at home, and so I want to thank everybody for being so supportive and making me laugh when I felt like crying. So that was really something. As for the project itself, it was interesting, I guess. For me, well, we talked first about going into the schools, and I took it at face value. I guess because Marty said it was needed on the reserve, I just accepted that, and that was interesting because I never even thought to check with the community. Just took the word of one person. So that was a really good learning lesson. Don't take the word of one person in a community. Ask lots of people what they want. So yeah, and I hope to never have to do research in that sense. That's not at all my deal. That's not what I'm interested in doing. But yeah, I learned a good lesson with that. The project was pretty stressful because everything we tried to do was, kind of doors slammed in our faces. I think I went to my kids' school like 3 or 4 times, and although the teacher's really enthusiastic, the grade 9 teacher, Miss Moore, and she's a real ally, and she's been a great support to my daughter. She was just having terrible trouble scheduling something with the powers that be. I don't know if they were resistant or what, but I hope that we can go ahead, because she's really keen to have us in. To talk about Idle No More, at least to her grade 9 group.